XRP going to $100, XRP going to $1,000, XRP going to $1.589, whatever. Recently, a couple of different videos have been made. BitBoy made a video about XRP going to $89, and then an article came out with the title XRP is going to like $59, I believe even $1,000 based on Google Bard and Bing and some other AI type of garbage. But in this video, I want to take a serious look on some things. Please don't disregard this video as clickbait. I'm being very serious. And also, at the end of the day here, guys, I'm only here to help you. I'm trying to get everybody to be extremely realistic, understand why we're in this game, what's possible, who's BSing you, who's real, and how to filter. But yeah, all I'm trying to do here is do some good stuff. So make sure you press the like button on this video. First of all, article, title, Google Bard and Bing confirmed Forbes published article projecting XRP to rally to $59,000. Let's just quickly state, AI very often has got some funny answers. The idea here, though, is that there was a Forbes article that talked about XRP being the new Bitcoin, and then this AI confirms that, yeah, basically XRP could become the next Bitcoin and go also towards the prices Bitcoin did, which are 59,000, etc., etc. To which I'd have to say, what exactly would give it this, 11 million% rise from 50 cents to $59,000? Well, we don't know. So why even talk about it? In theory, it's possible, but there's so many different variables that matter that this is something we don't even have to talk about. So disregard whoever talking about that. Oh, it could be gold. Oh, it could be the next world reserve currency. Cool, could. But there'd be a lot of cool things, I'd say, that happened beforehand. I will always say that Ripple's probably got a lot of cool things in the pipeline, and a lot of cool things are in the pipeline for XRP Ledger and XRP that have not been announced purely because the market is bad. And so the moment that the bull market is back, some things could happen pretty quickly in a succession. But something this crazy, no, it won't happen overnight. There are a lot of lead-ups as well. You've got to sign some juicy partnerships first before you even get close to prices that high. Anyway, BitBoy made a video here. XRP to basically $90. One crypto expert says yes, and he then talks about 𝗓𝗓 Crypto, and I have been looking at some of his points here, and it's got me thinking. $89, it sounds pretty crazy because it's so far away, but the price point itself is honestly not that crazy, and it got me thinking, like I said. It's funny, we talk about these prices as if they're inattainable or something like that, right? Oh, $90 per XRP will take so long. You know what's the funny thing? Bitcoin at some point was only cents as well, right? And I'll show you in a second what I mean with all that, but do you understand that for the most part, 99% of the people that are into XRP right now will not be able to hold it until these crazy high prices? It's just something funny. I was looking at this tweet from 𝗓𝗓, and he basically talks about XRP in July of 2028. Now, Brad Garlinghouse and the guys at Ripple have often talked about things that are a couple years away, and he talks here about cycles that take multiple years. It's funny when you look at the comment section and say, hey, I'd probably be out of XRP at that time. I'm not willing to wait that long. And again, I can't blame people because that's a long time. But we all do understand that great things take some time, and for these massive systems to collapse, if you really want these crazy prices, it takes some sort of major catalyst that, well, potentially is a couple years off. And we really start thinking about it, right? Let's refer back to some of these things. Here's a tweet from 2011. Found this tweet from 2011 while scrolling. Would you resist the temptation to sell them at $8 if you were him? What are we talking about? I wish I'd kept my 1,700 Bitcoin at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents, now that they're $8. The thing is, right, people had, let's just call it, turned this $50 into $250. A lot of people would be very happy with that. And that's similar as with XRP, where a lot of people right now will be extremely happy for it to hit an all-time high, which I understand. I fully understand. Don't get it twisted. And Dead or whatever, _Dead says, your hindsight is 2020. The reality is 99% of the people who bought at 6 cents would sell with glee at $1. I bought relatively early, around $10. It was ecstatic to sell at 50. I lost coins to Mt. Gox, and while I'd like to say I lost X and X dollars, the reality is that I probably would have cashed out to the tune of $3,000 at an absolute max. Only now that we've seen Bitcoin gain popularity and its real name recognition does anyone have to got these moon hopes. But it's funny that this, again, is 6 years ago, October of 2017, when, funny enough, Bitcoin's price was only at the $3,000 to $4,000 range. And it's interesting to see how right now we're even 10 times that as well. Point being, you're looking at these prices right now thinking, oh, can't wait for them to get a little bit higher. But in reality, you can't know up front just how much higher it's going to get. You can look back thinking, oh, if only I bought at that point. But really, it's quite hard to predict the future and just to see how crazy things can go if you give it some time, because great things take time. Anyway, here's another one. This is again 2011. Well, Bitcoin has stabilized at almost exactly $14 a coin. I'm tired of waiting for a jump, so I'm taking the loss and getting my cash back. I think this similar notion a lot of people in the XRP community have felt, even in Bitcoin too, whatever, where they buy in at, let's call it for XRP, let's call it 55 cents, right? The price goes to 95 cents. They're ecstatic. And then they maybe think of even buying a little bit more, going crazy because prices are doing well. Then it goes to 50 cents. So right now they're down in the money and think, you know what? I'm going to give up. And even though I don't mind that if you've got a better investment opportunity laying around, many people do this out of sheer desperation because they don't believe in what they bought. But I'll show you in a second, just give me some time, why I believe a lot of people are making some crucial mistakes. And just to add some fuel to the fire here, take a look at what 𝗕𝗓𝗄𝗠𝗠𝗃 said. If you bought $10 of Bitcoin every day, and this is all going to come into one story, for the last 2 years, you would have turned $7,300 into $11.2 thousand. That's a 53% gain, even though Bitcoin drew down 85% during that time period. So even though the Bitcoin price fell by 85%, you'd have still made about 53% gains. Don't listen to the noise. Conviction matters. And the same thing applies to XRP. If you had just bought XRP from the start of this year up to now, no way you'd be at a loss. If you kept on buying XRP throughout the months and years potentially, no way you'd be at a loss. It's only if you bought at very selective periods that right now you'd be in a bad spot. But especially if you buy your way down lower, you'd be in an extremely good position right now because your massive buys would have been at roughly 30 cents, which right now would be some juicy gains. But that's besides the point. The reason I said, I'll talk about it in a second, it's because of this tweet right here. If you are buying something, and understand this carefully, with the idea to flip it quickly and it goes south, well, that's fine because your intention was, I want to buy it right now, make some quick gains and get back out. You don't even have to believe in the industry or coin to do that. So if you're buying XP for that purpose and you have to take a loss, fine, understandable, move on. Most people are not that type of person though. Most people buy in for a specific reason, either because somebody told them so or because they believe in the tech. And if somebody tells you to buy something, but you're not fully convinced, you don't understand what you're buying into, you don't understand anything, that's a pretty stupid thing to do, all right? I don't want to insult any of you guys because I love every single one of you that watch these videos, but I will tell you that that's very irresponsible. Don't just buy something because somebody told you so, because then you can end up at a situation where right now your money is down, where you're not willing to buy more because, well, somebody at some point just told you to buy, but you didn't really know what you're buying, so you don't know if you should double up or whatever. You don't want to be in that position. You also don't know how much profit you should take because you don't know. Do you want to hold this for a long term, short term? You don't understand because you don't know what you're buying. If you know what you're buying, though, there's only two options, basically. Either you buy it once, forget about it because, well, you've bought what you wanted, and that's it, right? You're happy with what you've got, which a lot of people have got. Or you buy right now and you buy your way down, or you basically buy consecutively because you know what you're holding. You know where it can eventually get to, and you understand the system. With XRP, when we talk about all these crazy prices, I always think, to me, it doesn't really matter whatever price tag we eventually put on it because, in my opinion, I understand the tech so well. I understand it's pretty revolutionary. It can do so many crazy things that the curve is basically going to, in my head, be like this. It's going to take some time for it to kick off, pop off, go crazy. But in my opinion, it's inevitable. So I don't care about the time frame. I don't care exactly how high people think it's going to go because their opinions don't matter. And literally any price is possible because we can't fathom these newer systems, right? Anybody that's telling you, it's going to go to this or that price, how can they know? This crypto space is relatively new, but especially the trajectories that we're getting into. We've gone from the crypto space from a couple $1,000s or whatever to $1 trillion industry in a decade, right? And from that perspective as well, it could go from $1 trillion industry to a quadrillion-dollar industry in what? Well, we're estimating it might take 10 years. It could happen next year for all we know because of some crazy advancement, because of some crazy changes. The thing is, we don't understand how the adoption curve for cryptocurrency is going to look like. And so estimating these prices and putting into realistic words is so difficult. Or I guess easy to understand concepts. It's so difficult. It just is, I'd say, impossible. People try, but it's impossible. And so, again, to conclude everything, people in all these years never thought that Bitcoin would get this high. for the most part, they didn't think so with Shiba Inu and all these type of things either. You don't know what you don't know. Understand that carefully with XRP's price as well. Anybody saying a certain price is BSing you, they don't know, because nobody can predict the future. All we do understand is we're buying this for that and that purpose, and it's worth holding on to because of the risk to reward that you've calculated or thought of. There are going to be many people who give up. You can see it right here yet again. People are going to say, oh, you know what? It's stabilized. I'm getting out. I'm cashing out for something else. I'm buying this. There's always going to be people like that. Make your own choices. Again, there are thousands upon thousands of people who would have had millions of dollars extra had they just held on to what they believed in at some point. Because, as I said before, if you don't believe in something, in my opinion, right, don't buy it unless you're thinking of it as a quick trade. But then you're more along the lines of this guy right here that bought at 6 cents, sold at 30 cents. This guy was most likely extremely happy at the time. Perhaps he did not fully believe in it though, otherwise he might have just held on because he knew what he was buying into. This guy right here apparently did not fully believe what he was buying into, and did not sell at like a 5x profit, which was very applaudable or whatever. He sold at a loss because he just wants his cash back, because he's afraid and because he's tired of waiting for a jump. But as I said before, if you know what you're buying, it shouldn't be an issue. Little side note as well, I gotta applaud Ben for recording with demo mode in the middle of his screen this whole episode. That's kind of hard to watch, but I do appreciate him for posting it anyway, right? With the demo mode in it. And I still wonder whose side I should be on. Ben's side of them taking his money, or is him being irresponsible, or him doing some shady stuff? I don't know still. I mean, his house looks pretty good still, right? So he's not fully broke. He's probably richer than a lot of other people that are donating to him, but hey, that's besides the point. Anyway, if you're wondering why these crazy price tags, well, in this case here, it has to do with the accumulation zone. We've been in this same price region for so ridiculously long. And so the moment that we go, we're going to go pretty heavy. I still believe that though. I just want to quickly point that out. I still believe that because XRP has been basically stable or not hitting a new all-time high in so ridiculously long, yet they did win the case. They did get many new partners, and well, they did have this little period where Ripple most likely is not announcing things because it's not the best market. So the moment that the bull market comes back, they're going to probably go for another wave of announcements and crazy things. And a lot of these NDAs are going to clear probably. It's going to be a pretty hefty, crazy run. Because I also believe they shut it down deliberately below $1. I do believe it was them or some very, very smart guys making a crazy frick ton of money by playing this move very, very smartly, but that's a story for a different day. I do still believe, as of this point at least, that the next run is going to be the craziest for XRP ever, because there's not that much that can hold it back anymore. But yeah, those are just some things I wanted to share. Hopefully you guys agree with me. If you don't, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, that's about it.